Everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 14 and compare it against the iPhone 12 and see which particular phone is the better one for you. Now, both these phones are great. I like these phones a lot, and I definitely will tell you if you have more money, then I would recommend buying the iPhone 14. But I think the iPhone 12 is still a very decent deal. Like the 12 is almost like the 14 Lite. There's still so much overlap between these two devices, and we'll talk about that throughout this video. If you want to pick up either one of these phones though at any point throughout this video, links will be down in the description. You can get that from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off side by side, the iPhone 12, which came out in 2020 on the front, has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. And it's a very, very decent panel. It's definitely not the best panel of all time, but I do think it looks pretty good for the most part, and I do think like if I'm going through and buying some sort of a phone, I will not be complaining about this particular panel at all. It's very good. I like the way it looks, and definitely for the most part, it's a good panel. A little bit of bezel around it. You have the notch up top, which is perfectly fine, but it's still a very good looking phone nonetheless, and I'm still a big fan of the way this particular phone looks. Now with the iPhone 14, on the other hand, this particular device on the front has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display as well, and this is also a very, very good panel. It gets brighter than the iPhone 12s, I think. The bezel on it is about the same, but this notch is a little bit smaller. So if you wanted a phone with a smaller notch, you're getting that here. The iPhone 15 was a bigger upgrade because it brought the dynamic island, but this one, honestly, one of the last notched iPhones, at least for now, which is pretty interesting. So on the front, definitely I would say the iPhone 14 wins. Almost dropped both my phones there. From the rest of the body, there's a lot of overlap here. There's one advantage of the iPhone 12, but between both, lots and lots of overlap here. You're getting the volume buttons right here are ringer switches. The top has nothing. But right here, the iPhone 12 has a SIM card tray. The iPhone 14 does not have a SIM card tray. So if that is something that's important to you, being able to pop in and out of SIM, the iPhone 12 will be giving you that. The iPhone 14 is not going to be giving you that. Lightning ports at the bottom, speaker grill is almost the same thing. Power button on the other side. And on the back side, you can just see how similar these phones pretty much look. It's crazy how much basically both these phones pretty much look exactly the same way. It is pretty wild. But I like the way both these look. I've always liked both these phones when they first came out. They still look very, very good. Dual camera setups at the very top, wide and ultra wide cameras, which again is super nice to have. Apple logos right here, you're getting the MagSafe capability right there as well, which is another really nice touch. And overall, both these phones look and feel very, very good. I really don't think there's like a massive difference between both these phones from the build quality standpoint. Like I think they both feel very similar. But if you're talking about which one has more features, maybe the 14 kind of is a little bit better, but the 12 does have that SIM card tray, which is really the main difference here for the most part. So from that side, that kind of covers it up. Now from the other side of things, with the iPhone 12, from a software side, we really don't know how long this phone's going to last, like to the day, but I would probably say this phone's going to last probably another 2 years. I'm hoping it'll last 3. I hope it lasts all the way up to iOS 20, but if not, I think iOS 19, iOS 18, I'm pretty sure it's going to end off at iOS 19, so we'll say like another 2 years. The iPhone 14, it's going to be supported probably for another 3 to 4 years, probably 4 years more likely. So this phone is still, it's not even 2 years old yet. So this phone is still going to be supported for many, many generations. One of the main reasons why I love the iPhone 14 is the fact that it's still supported for so long. And that's the reason why I love this phone so much. So this one's going to be here for a long period of time. It's going to last probably another 2 years on top of the iPhone 12. So just kind of keep that in mind in the back of your head. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The iPhone 14 has that Apple A15 body chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. Where the iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 body chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared on the background, so let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, 14 is here, 12 is here. Music 3, 2, 1. Okay, two kind of different pop-ups here, so we'll just go and hop out of both of these. So I'm going to get into mail 3, 2, 1. I think the 14 was faster. App Store 3, 2, 1. And definitely I think the iPhone 14 was faster there. Scrolling through, let's see if there's any big differences, which I don't really think there's going to be. Okay, perfect. Let's go and click on the top 3, 2, 1. Okay, of course, that one doesn't work. Hopping out of both of these. We do have some third-party apps we can try out. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Now with this one, again, it's a pretty good application to test out. I like this app a lot. So they both have the downloading content thing for a second. And you can see that the iPhone 14 is significantly faster here than the iPhone 12. So this is kind of another big advantage. I would say from even small games like this, you're going to be seeing bigger differences for the most part. But this is also going to trickle down into every other area of aspect between both these devices as well. You can see through here, Basically the same type of performance once you're in an application. Hopping out of these two, Call of Duty Mobile, 3, 2, 1. Now I have not loaded up this game in a long time, but even getting at the Activision screen, it was faster on the iPhone 14. I'm pretty sure the rest of the way it's going to be faster too. Like I could just end this one right here. Like it kind of makes sense which one's going to be the faster one. Getting into the loading panel as well. Now Call of Duty Mobile has a bunch of loading screens, so I'm not going to bore you with all that. But definitely I would assume that the iPhone 14 is probably going to be the faster one there as well. Now we do have some other apps we can do. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. Okay, iPhone 14 is faster. Thank you, 3, 2, 1. And again, these games are gonna, kind of be all over the place. But so far, the iPhone 14 has been the significantly faster one every single time. Snake vs. Blocks, 3, 2, 1. That's actually kind of surprising. Usually a phone would kind of be slower here, faster here. But almost every single time the iPhone 14 has been slightly faster. These ones have not been like insane differences. Let's go and do stack, 3, 2, 1. But definitely I would tell you so far the iPhone 14 is doing a really, really decent job, which is very, very surprising. So kind of when it comes down to it, if I'm looking at the fastest phone between both, I'm probably going to look at something like the iPhone 14 as being the faster one almost every single time. And that would probably be the phone I'd recommend a vast majority of people to buy because it is going to be the faster phone when it kind of comes down to it. So once again, if you're wanting the faster device, definitely something like the iPhone 14 is probably going to be the one that I'd recommend most people to buy. So that kind of covers it up there. Now from the camera side of things, between both, as I mentioned before, both of them are very decent cameras. You're getting wide and ultra wide cameras on both. 4K at 60 on the front and the back of both these phones, which is really nice. So that right there is a really, really cool thing to have. Now, the advantage I would say with the iPhone 14 and the disadvantage of the iPhone 12 is that the camera was very similar to the iPhone 11's camera. I've always felt like that. I still feel like that to this day. You're getting 5x zoom here, 0.5x zoom, so the ultra wide camera. Video mode, slow mode, time lapse, you're getting portrait mode, panorama mode. The camera quality is still pretty good, but I would definitely say compared to the newer iPhones, even like the iPhone 14, it's not as crisp. I feel like the 13 was a bigger upgrade coming from the iPhone 11 than the iPhone 12 was, or the iPhone 12 to the 13 was a bigger upgrade than the 11 to the 12. With the iPhone 14, this is also, this is a very, very good camera. The thing with the iPhone 14 is that, as I mentioned, the camera feels more crisp. It looks like a little bit better colors. Video mode, you are also getting the cinematic mode as well. This is not there on the iPhone 12. It is essentially a portrait mode type of video. So you are getting that here on the iPhone 14. You're not getting that on the iPhone 12. So keep that in mind if you hear anybody talking about cinematic mode, you are not getting that on the iPhone 12, just on the iPhone 14. But otherwise, still very, very good phone. I feel like both of them are very solid. But I would probably say the iPhone 14 might be the better one when it comes down to there. And I think the iPhone 14 is the better iPhone in almost every single way. This is the iPhone that I'd probably recommend a vast majority of people to go ahead and buy. This is the device that I look at and I'm like, this is the phone I'd recommend everyone to basically buy. It is better, it's faster, it's going to last longer. Although the build quality is kind of the same, you're getting basically a much better phone in almost every single way. I think the iPhone 12 is still a very, very good phone too. This is a very nice phone. I like this phone a lot, but definitely when it comes down to it, I'd probably recommend a vast majority of people to buy the iPhone 14 considering it's going to last longer. If you want to buy the iPhone 12, it's still a very good phone too. This thing's going to last for like another couple years as well. So like I said, you can't really go wrong with either one. If I had to recommend one, the iPhone 14 would probably be the one for me. So that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, till then.